This is the new Nokia 7 Plus.
15.8 million people went to the polls on the 10th of February 2018 in Sri Lanka's largest election in its history to elect members to 340 local authorities. This was the first time the country tested the mixed electoral system, where 60% of the members elected using the past-the-post voting and the remaining 40% through the closed list proportional representation. In weighing the pros and cons of this hybrid system, one positive outcome was the push towards 25% of women representation in each local body.
And hopefully that will be institutionalized as far as all levels of government are concerned. So I think the concern is with regard to the attitude or the perspective in which the elections were seen.
Now, on the flip side of things, there were some issues that seriously dented these positive outcomes.
Main negative factor is this elections, voters doesn't have their choice, the preferential voting, to select their representative. And the 40% of the members select by the political parties without any people's mandate. And also number of councillors increase is almost double with the new electoral system. There are a lot of financial transactions during the appointment of the chairmen and the mayors took place. It's really sad situation. I think from 1 million to 10 million. So it is not healthy, it is not good for the country like Sri Lanka.
In the first election held under this new hybrid system, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, a newly formed party under the leadership of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, won the majority of councils. A total of 231 bodies were secured by the SLPP. However, when the time came to form power in the local bodies, the SLPP managed to secure more councils by coming to an agreement with other parties. This led them securing power in councils they lost from the election.
The most significant aspect is that last moment changes are brought to this without studying or thinking of the consequences. And it is these amendments to the 70-30 that has caused the imbalance and doubt and criticism today. If it was 70-30, clear, whoever won would have had a stable mandate. Now, that have been nullified by some of these amendments.
Political parties had great expectations that they will get great numbers. But whenever political parties couldn't achieve their goal, they blame the system. And then with regard to when selecting the mayor or the chairman, if a party received 50%, the party could nominate. Otherwise, the council had to nominate. You see that parties are losing control of their members. And for other reasons, you could see people jumping this side and that side. And for that reason, when parties don't have control, they were blaming the system.
So how could this be? Shouldn't a party that won the council must claim power to the said council? Is there a flaw in this new system?
Is it the perfect method? No, there are no perfect methods. And what happened is not a problem really with the mixed member proportional method. It's really in the way it was tinkered. We took out the threshold. And then the method for electing chairman and vice chairman was very clear in the previous method. Any party that gets the most votes, they get to choose the chair. Whether this is good or bad, that's something we can discuss. But even if we had thought about the details of what will happen after the election and drafted the legislation accordingly, I think these problems would not have cropped up.
In the world over, there are 20 types of systems that elects members to their respective council of power. In each system, it's tailor-made to address issues faced by the people of that particular country. So, does this new hybrid system address issues faced by Sri Lankans?
The way to approach is to understand what do we expect from our government. From local government, we expect different sort of services. There are more services. And from the parliament, we expect them to make national policy. So I think we don't have to have the same system for all three levels of government. We focused on representation and we didn't look at governability. For example, look at the size of the councils. From 4,800 or so, we now nearly doubled. Women's representation does not have to be at the expense of a bloated local government.
Make 2 or 3 wards into one. Thereby we could bring down the numbers. This system doesn't have a cut-off point. Whereas now there is in parliament elections, there is a 5% cut-off point. Provincial council elections, there is a cut-off point. So this system does not have a cut-off. So we need to introduce the cut-off point.
So where do we go from here? What should be the next move in a time where the next election in the form of a provincial council election is on the horizon?
We can treat this as a pilot project and see how do we alleviate these problems in a future provincial council election. Traditionally and historically, the science of politics or political science teaches us that other than general elections, local authority elections worldwide, not even here, have a very, very low turnout because people just are not interested in who goes into the local authority. But this time I think we had almost near 75 to 76% turnout, which was fairly high. So which means the system that we tried worked. I don't think we need to move away from the ratio of what we tried in the local authority election. But yes, we have to figure out the calculating part. And maybe even have a minimum percentage of voting that a party would garner, and if not for that their votes are not counted. That may also be something that they can think of.
What really needs to happen is for a consultative meeting with all stakeholders where they come up with what their particular concerns are and tries to resolve them. And if it is going to go beyond the September point, let's hold the next round of provincial council elections on the existing system and then take our time and revise the system. But let's not do it in haste.